Pep my eye. Peace and love, brothers.
Hotep.
Peace and love, Hotep.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Peace and love. Peace and love. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the teachings of Ma'at, Stepping Out of the Matrix book study by author Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. I am Arcad Infinite, and this is our book study. Before we get started, we like to start everything out with our affirmation, our beautiful affirmation. Our good brother Scribe can put it up there for us. Thank you, good brother. On the count of three, we will begin our affirmation. On the count of three, one, two, three. Unki Ima'at, Un Ns, Nintet Aset Ima'at, Men Hapapet Ima'at, Her Inku Kui, Per Iku. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her. I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at. My being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Beautiful. Welcome, everybody. So, I'm going to introduce everybody on our panel. Again, my name is Arcad Infinite. I am the T'Chat of the organization, and I am a master student of the great teacher Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. I am a true-hearted follower of truth based on ancestral artifacts and a love of my people unconditionally. I'm dedicated to Kemet and learning the Metal Netta and loyal to my art at all times. Next, I would like to introduce our good brother Tahuti Most. I would like to sing good brother Tahuti Most, light and love, good brother. Tahuti Most is humbled at the opportunity to be at home with Ma'at, with the guidance of Tahuti Amenhotep Ra, the Saba Saba. His quest for the truth, as they call it, has brought him to the facts. In this experience, he has learned and will continue to teach that everyone has the truth, but it is the facts on which the foundation of anything, one basis of a decision should rest. This statement has increased its ability to find his place in the cosmos, and that place is here with you as a student of Ma'at. His journey continues to be an interesting and exciting experience. It began in the truths of Catholicism, Christianity, and Hebrew religions, realizing that these truths still left him with many unanswered questions and even more confused. He continued his quest and found the facts in Ma'at through the teachings of the Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He is home, Tuah, to the ancestors. His interest is first in his family and second in manipulating this matrix to his will. The rest is all commentary. He is an ambassador of the teachings of Ma'at and hosts a weekly YouTube book study. His other interests are in health, healing, investment vehicles, and teaching of the facts of this wonderful existence. In closing, he is very excited to be on this journey with you all. Peace through this world through Ma'at. As a student of Ma'at, we will continue to grow and learn and be the best versions of ourselves on this earth as representatives of our ancestors. Hotep Ma'at, good brother Tahuti Most. Next, I would like to introduce Netter, formerly known as AJ, specializes in educating youth workers, counselors, and education about arts, culture, and history. He travels the world to experience how people live, and he shares it with everyone who is interested in learning from the research he has witnessed. He has a master's degree in entertainment and media business and has been working in the music industry with nonprofit agencies, providing program planning and promoting concerts and community events in Madison for over 30 years. During that time, he has facilitated the following innovative after-school programs for Madison School Community Recreation, which are Hip Hop 101, Music Production 101, and MP4 music programs for youth. Next, we have the architect. Good brother Scribe is a writer, poet, spoken word artist, audio producer, engineer, healer, and spiritual advisor, consultant, and business creator. He is a master student of the Nichiru, a true follower and protector of Ma'at. Scribe of Tahuti and Ma'at, he studies under the master teacher, Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. For the scribe, quality always outweighs quantity. He enjoys observing reality and incorporating these observations into his writings and creations to assist in the awakening of dormant DNA and reversing of negative hypnosis. And next, we have Ahati Ma'at, good brother Ahati Ma'at, who will be presenting tonight. Ahati was taught under the great Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. He has been a serious student and teacher of Kemetic culture and history for several years. He has written multiple books, including the textbook called Journey of Your Soul series, essays and articles, Furthermore, he hosts in-person and online classes, weekly podcasts, and periodically creates documentaries. He also has experience in public speaking and academic debating. He is responsible for the creation of the weekly study guide, Sunday classes for the teachings of Ma'at. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Before we get started, I would like to find out if we have any announcements. Any announcements, Scribe?
Yes, Hotep Ma'at. Excuse me. Hotep Ma'at, everybody. Thank you for once again being with us at another beautiful live stream of the Stepping Out of the Matrix study guide book. And so first, I just want to, of course, as always, show appreciation for those who donate. And this week we have the great brother E-Manifesto with a $5 donation. So thank you, brother E-Manifesto, for your contribution for the organization and for the teachings and for Saba Tahuti. So thank you, my brother, for that. And I also want to, speak about the website, the teachingsofma'at.org. That link will be posted in the chat throughout the stream and also in the description box. And if you go there, you'll see a lot of information that we have and a way to resource and find out everything that we're doing, including Saba Tahuti's pod class on Fridays. And so we have a lot of things that's going on there. We have beautiful merch that you can make your purchase there to represent and wear your beautiful teachings of Ma'at merch. And so we have short sleeve, long sleeve. We have hoodies, and it's a beautiful shirt. So you can go there and support. You can go there and also make your purchases of Saba Tahuti's books. One of which the one that we're going through and breaking down and studying in this study guide group, which is the Stepping Out of the Matrix. You can make your purchase there. To get that book and read it and study it yourself and also follow along with us as we're going through and we're breaking it down. So I just want to say thank you for all of you who are being consistent with us and those who are putting in effort to elevate yourselves and take it to the next level, so we can continue to grow and expand together. And with that, that's all the news and announcements that I have.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that.
Hotep, so I want to show everyone the newsletter that you can send an email to our website for free. You can get a free newsletter every week from the great brothers here. And it looks like this. So when you send in your email, you'll receive the newsletter weekly, and this is the first page. It says the teachings of Ma'at, the movement begins with you, book study breakdown and news. It always has the date there and the issue number. And then there's a little greetings introduction. And then there's an about us section for those of you that are new that want to learn a little bit about the movement. And then it has our mission. Our mission is to bring back home to the mindset of Ma'at as many sisters, brothers, and their children as possible, and free melanated people from the Tamahu. The Tamahu is now called the Caucasian Matrix. Then we have a news section, and the news section is just a very brief section, a couple small paragraphs of the book study, Sunday book study guide breakdown. So whoever speaks during the week, you will find a brief summary of what they said here in really short paragraphs that you can read on the go, whether it's to work, school, the grocery store, wherever you're going. So last week was Arcad Infinite, the chairman that's here tonight. And as example, Arcad Infinite did an excellent job on pointing out the fact that the Ptolemies mentioned being sons of Ptah. This is specifically referenced in what is called the Memphite Decree, which clearly indicates that the Greeks were worshiping the Nibiru from Kemet and not the Abrahamic deities as popularly believed today. So with this first paragraph, we give a little summary of exactly what RCAT was breaking down. And then we go more into detail in the second paragraph as well. So I would suggest reading both so you could get full context of what happened last Sunday study guide. Then we scroll down and you get a beautiful collage shown here that always has MetaNetter posted. So you can see that the topic was on Ptah, and we'll actually be continuing this topic tonight. And it will show Saba's book here. It'll show the designs that the brothers put together, the scribe and RCAT. And again, it shows we always put a MetaNetter clip in here to let you know that these are not our opinions that we're giving, that RCAT gave. He's actually sourcing material from the ancestor's tongue himself. Then you scroll down some more and become a member. We're always looking for new members. We're looking for writers, editors, managers, digital designers, social media content creators, organizers for physical meetups. If you have a skill or talent that could be beneficial to the Teachings of Ma'at organization, contact leadership at teachingsofma'at.org. And I want to emphasize that if you feel you can't perform any of these things here, still get in contact with us and let us know how you can help, and the brother scribe will get back to you. Then there's the things to consider before skipping the study. That just lets you know you're not alone, that all of us here on the panel are truth seekers first, and we just want to know what's true. So we're here for you. Then we have the exciting merch at teachingsofma'at.org merch. We have short sleeve shirts. We have shirts for females, males, the whole family here. Children, hoodies, sweatshirts, and it's possible we could put out scullies or beanies or winter hats as well. But yeah, I suggest you sign up as a member because you can get 10% off your first purchase when you sign up. And it's great quality. I'm actually wearing one of the shirts tonight, and it's great quality. So show appreciation to the Teachings of Ma'at. Again, if you can't donate financially, you can always donate with your time. We're looking for that too. It's real simple. You can just hold your phone up to the QR code and scan this box here. And we always put the Teachings of Ma'at members that sign up and the Teachings of Ma'at supporters. You'll get a shout out as well. Okay? And that's all I have for tonight with that. Let me get out of this. Okay.
All right, peace. We just got a donation that I want to bring forth and show. And it was just a matter of time. So here we go with the great brother Nito Campbell.
Great, mysterious.
Yeah, the mysterious one. Nito Campbell, the mysterious one.
He'll get on one day.
Peace,
yes,
peace.
sir. Peace and love, Nito Campbell. Thank you for your consistent donation and energy that you're giving us, so it doesn't go unappreciated and unnoticed. So two out for that, my brother.
Definitely. Peace. Before we get started, Ahati, are we gonna do the AJ? Are you gonna present first, or is Ahati?
Yeah, AJ's gonna go now.
AJ, he's gonna go, brother. You ready? So before we get started, before Ahati's great presentation, we got a wonderful presentation by the good brother AJ Netter, formerly known as Otep Ma'at. Brother, take it away.
You are muted, AJ.
Give me 1 second and I will be ready.
All right, so while we're waiting, if you're in the chat, make sure that you hit the like button to help the algorithm and help getting this information out there. Make sure you share the video, share it to your platforms, and, So just make sure you do that on a consistent basis. Comment after the video is done. Comment, leave, chat with us here in the live chat. And we will be posting the link after the end of the presentation for, those of you to come forth and get on the screen with us and have some conversations with us and build, So once again, just thank you for your time and thank you for your attention, because without your attention, this never even existed. So it goes a long, long way. So peace and love and appreciation.
Okay, brothers, I am ready. Sorry about the delay. I will share my screen and let everybody know what they're about to witness. Let's see. Everybody can see my screen?
No. Oh, yes.
Okay,
Yes.
now it is up. Ankh Uja Saneb, to everyone in the chat. Peace to all my brothers, my comrades, my warriors, my family that's here today. Ahati, thank you for this opportunity to share my life with everyone. I have a little, like a quick PowerPoint. I don't know if some of you know, but I am going to have the amazing privilege of meeting Saba Tahuti on December 24th. I am changing my name from Arthur Richardson III. And so this will be a quick breakdown for my journey and my salutation to Tahuti, our Saba, our teacher, our leader. Let's see. 1 second. Okay. So here is a picture of Saba when he was on the Killer Priest show. That is where I discovered him. And then I just added this other picture that I found with Tahuti with his hands on another brother's shoulder. Looks like a pharaoh. I don't know exactly who that is. But this right here is a little snippet from Saba's book, Melanin Dark Consciousness. It says the Shabaka stone makes it very clear that sound, tone, and utterance existed as a precursor to the physical realm. That tone and vibration brought forth existence, and that light consciousness had the desire to choose the physical bodies that they utilized here on earth. The symbol of divine utterance is, of course, the mouth symbol. If you go to the website, it translated the letters into the Metanetter equivalent to the word for mouth is the same word and letter as Ra. And so I'm very thankful for Saba's teaching and all that his journey and all that he does. Before I met Saba and my journey, and I'm going to share how it all connects. So I'm very fortunate for the life that I have lived. My career, pretty much the majority of my adult life, I've been working with young people, mostly young melanated children, working at after-school programs, and that has kept me connected to my roots and the community. So I'm very lucky that I chose to not work in a corporation or work somewhere where I couldn't be myself and always interacting with our people. My journey isn't unique, just like most of you. I grew up listening to music and watching performances and the lives of many melanated people. and learning a little bit about so-called Black history. I think those were like the little, I don't want to say breadcrumbs, but those were the little dots that kept me on the journey in the course of my life and how it's played out. I was searching for the truth. I was searching for ma'at, and I was listening to people who I thought at the time were heavy hitters, and much respect to every energy that guided me to Saba Tahuti. To name a few, I listened to Dr. Ben, Baba Smalls, Bobby Hemmett, Muat Ashby, Azra Kwesi, Anthony Broader, Mfudishi, Dr. Delbert Blair, Dr. Phil Valentine, Dr. Asa Hilliard, and Abraham Hicks, who basically is making her whole career around the law of attraction, which is a Kemetic concept taught by Tahuti. And so my divine encounter with Saba Tahuti, I don't remember why I started watching the Killer Priest podcast, but what is very clear is that when I witnessed Saba Tahuti teaching, and then I started watching his debate, I knew I was exactly where I was supposed to be. March 15th was the first Killer Priest show I watched with Saba Tahuti. April 22nd, 2021 was the first time I reached out to Saba Tahuti on Facebook Messenger to ask him to teach me more about Ma'at. He didn't reply right away, but I continued to watch Killer Priest, and I continued to reach out and did not get a response for months, but I was consistent and persistent and determined to learn from him. He finally reached back out to me on December 21st of 2021. And since then, I've been doing one-on-one classes with him. I'm in the Meta Netter class. I've been watching the pod class, and he has been a huge influence on my life. On December 21st, I bought both his books, Stepping Out of the Matrix and Melanin Dark Consciousness, on December 21st. February 1st, I had my first one-on-one session with Saba Tahuti. So I'm changing my name because I'm changing the game. So my government name, or what will soon be my old government name, is Arthur, is a common male given name of Brythonic origin. Its popularity derives from it being the name of the legendary hero King Arthur. The etymology is disputed. It may derive from Celtic Artos, meaning bear. Another theory more widely believed is that the name derived from Roman clan Arturius, who lived in Roman Britain for centuries. This name gotta go. This is what he looks like. My last name is Richardson. The name Richardson was brought to England in the Great Wave of Migration following the Norman conquest of 1066. It comes from the old German name Ricard, meaning powerful and brave. I don't care. This name's got to go. Both of them. Arthur and Richardson has to go. My father was from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And so it looked like Ann Richardson was probably one of the slave owners my family got the name from. So I did some researching on both my names, Arthur, and my last name, Richardson. December 24th, 2022, I will be reborn into my true self and my true life when I get my new name from the beloved Saba Tahuti. All of this is possible due to the liberating energy of Ma'at under the teachings of Tahuti. Saba Tahuti represents the Para-Ahat. And so I looked up a name that represented courage, because Saba Tahuti represents a courage that I have not otherwise witnessed. And I really love the synergy of, I kind of made it up in my head that Ahati's name is a part of this word that I discovered in the hieroglyphic dictionary by E.A. Wallace Budge. And Parahats means hero, mighty man, warrior, fighter, soldier, a high-handed man. Hero, brave man, words of boldness or courage. And that's what our Saba Tahuti represents for me. He represents everything that is right about existence and Ma'at. And so I am ready for a major shift and change in my life. And Saba Tahuti and Ahati is an example of the kind of light being I want to be in this universe. And so I'm going to just do something real quick. This is a poem I didn't write, but best describes why I am coming into Ma'at, Tua. You guys have probably all heard this before. And so this isn't my writing, but I thought that it really fits with where I'm at and where I want to go with my life. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of Ma'at. Your playing small does not serve the world. Saba Tahuti is not playing small. Ahati is not playing small. None of the brothers on this panel is playing small. The person you've seen whose name used to be Arthur Richardson is tired of playing small. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. And our people are shrinking small so other people don't feel insecure around us. And that needs to change. We were born to make manifest the glory of Ma'at, of the netters, of our ancestors that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in every single one of us. And as we let our own light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, as we are liberated from our oppressors, as we are liberated from the Tamahu, our presence automatically liberates others. Saba Tahuti, Ahati, these brothers, and everyone that is doing their best to represent Ma'at is my family, and all the people and energies that want to liberate us so that we can liberate others. I gladly welcome myself into that circle. I give all praise that is due to our Saba Tahuti for who he is and how he is affecting the world. And I am ready to put that ring on. And so for no further ado, I will pass to my big brother, our leader, our general, our lieutenant, Ahati.
That was great, my brother. That was very, very pure from the heart, and could not be faked. And that's why I had you speak tonight, because what I've witnessed in you is a fire that burns just as deep as me, and it's now created what the Tomhus call an aura. You actually have a glow around you. You have a light that's emanating from you every time that I see you through the computer screen, at least. And it's not the computer light either. So the thing with this is that, see, the netter put this presentation together, and he took time to do it out of his life, because as he said, Saba is the most important thing besides himself in this life. And this is what brothers used to do. You're seeing a living example of how brothers, thousands and tens of thousands of years prior to us, lived. Our ancestors lived like this. Our ancestors weren't running around cracking jokes and doing all that foolishness and sarcasm. They were encouraging. They were encouraging, and that's a true friendship. Friend actually means to encourage another. Doesn't mean to cut them down. That's sarcasm. And that's what this society is built. But it shows me, Netter, formerly known as AJ, that there's still hope. Because I go day in, day out at war with Isfet in my own mind, saying, is this worth it? Should I keep doing this? And really, you might not know you're helping me more than you're helping yourself right now, because I needed to hear what you had to say tonight to confirm that I'm still going on the right path. And I don't know if there's anybody in the crowd that's dealing with something in their own life that they needed some confirmation, a sign, whatever you want to call it. But here it is. That was simply you spoke what I feel towards the master teacher. So I appreciate you, brother, and I thank you for stepping up to the plate and showing ma'at, and not just throwing something together to sound intelligent or to be popular or whatever. So without further ado, I don't want to keep going on because there's time constraints going. So let's get into it. Perfect introduction, AJ. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'll let the brothers. I'll let the brothers speak on it when I'm done presenting, so everybody, so you can hear their thoughts too. I just want to present this right now. Okay. Let me see if you can see my screen. Sure. Let's get into it. Let's break out of the matrix. Here we go. So last week, Arcad left. Oh, first, before I start, I want to say hail Saba Tahuti Amenhotep Ra. Hail to Kemet, Makaru, Makaru, Makaru. That is our victory voice. So Arcad left off last time on page 71 with the Armana in the House of Life, the Per Unk. So it says, a seal impression with the word Per Unk, House of Life, found at Armana, El Armana. They're now calling it El Armana. It was called Per Unk. Symbol of the House of Life. The earliest references to a House of Life come from royal decrees of the late Old Kingdom, about 2200 BC, mentioning the requirements of the House of Life, but not providing any information on its scope. 2 stela, inscribed stones from offering chapels of the late Middle Kingdom, 1850 to 1700 BC, record a man named Kiku with the title Scribe of the House of Life. Besides a colleague with the title Chief Physician, the word scribe illustrates the connection between the institution and writing. In the late period, there may have been a House of Life in each of the main temples throughout Egypt. In the mid-1st millennium BC, the restoration of the House of Life is recorded in inscriptions of high officials in the title Chief Physician. Pefta Awi Net in Waja Hor S Net. This indicates that the books copied and compiled there include writings for good health. Compare the list of surviving papyri for earlier periods. The title, Foremost of the House of Life, appears on inscriptions for the goddess Sheshat, meaning writing, and the god Kanu, creator of physical forms. In the late period, in Ptolemaic period, every year at the end of the season of the Nile flood, at each temple, the staff carried out the ritual making a mud figure of Osiris, in which seed was germinated before its burial. A manuscript recording the ritual was found at Abydos, which the Kemetic is called Abtu, and is now preserved in the British Museum Papyrus ESA 1051 and 1090 for the start of the manuscript, and its fine place see Herbin 1988. This manuscript gives many details on the construction of the House of Life at Abtu and may apply to the House of Life attached to late period temples throughout Kemet. These in turn may be modeled on the House of Life at the Palace Center of ancient Kemet kingship. Let's look at the next line that the Ptolemies declare. And I quote, "To do many favors for the temples of Kemet and for all those who are subject to his kingship, he being a god, the son of a god, and a goddess, and being like Horus, son of Isis and Osiris, who protects his father Osiris, and his heart being beneficent concerning the gods." Once again, a biblical believer would not be calling himself a god and the son of a god. John 3:16. "And for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten Son." It is extremely clear that these Ptolemies had absolutely no concern or regard for what Christians are calling biblical beliefs today. The allegiance is to Kemet and always has been. Their divine books are only held by the scribes of Kemet, point blank, end of story. What I would like to point out is the part of the sentence after the Son of God part. It states, "in a goddess." Now, what does this mean? Is there anywhere within the Bible, Torah, or Tanakh that acknowledges reverence to a goddess? All monotheistic religions, I'm going to say that again, all monotheistic religions only acknowledges that the supreme deity only be a male. So all monotheistic religions only acknowledges that the supreme deity only be a male. There is nowhere their belief is there a goddess to look up to. Actually, in Christianity, Islam, and Hebraism, there is no such thing as a goddess or any reference to one within the scriptures whatsoever as something that you could ever aspire to be or be the son of or so of. Yet here we are to believe that the Ptolemies are interested in translating Hebrew beliefs. Image of the creator, the black mother goddess symbol, derived from the Manat of the mother Het Haru. This is made in Het Haru's image, the Manat. What the goddess Auset would look like as a himbo woman. And yes, her hair is red. We see Ptolemy calling himself a son of a goddess. So Ptolemy is calling himself a son of a goddess, not a god. There is a Kemetic reason for this, which I will be glad to elaborate on if anyone asks me either in person or internet. You can always contact Saba through the leadership of at theteachersofma'at.org or just email him personally. I'm not going to go into that here at this moment, other than to clarify that this is definitely not that belief of someone who seems interested in adhering to the Bible, moreover taking the manpower and time to translate one for his people or for himself. Now we will take the last line that will be focused on within the declaration of a Ptolemy. Being like Horus, son of Isis, and Osiris, who protects his father Osiris. This is the base of the Ptolemies. This trinity, Heru, Auset, and Osar. This triad of man, woman, and child is the origin and complete foundation of the origins of Christianity. So the origins of Christianity is the natural family, the man, woman, and child. So in this picture, you have Osset or Isis, you have Osar or Osiris laying down. Here's Osar laying down. You have Osset here on her knees. And on her lap here, which you could barely see, is Heru on the lap of Osset. This is the original family. The Black Madonna imagery of Mary and child Jesus. There's the inspiration. And here it is in Europe. The Black Madonna with Jesus. Black Jesus. In Europa, in Europe. Osset and child from which the Ptolemies and early Christians first stole this imagery. So this is a stolen imagery. And where is Black Jesus sitting? He's sitting on her lap. And this is Osset with Heru. Again, Heru, the original image, and he is sitting on his mother's lap. An article by Jefferson Monet called Serapis, the Composite God. Serapis, the Composite God by Geoffrey Monet. Simply put, Serapis was an invented god. He was a composite of several Egyptian and Hellenistic deities who was introduced to the world at the beginning of the Ptolemaic period in Egypt during the reign of Ptolemy I, though his legacy lasted well into the Roman period. Thus, he was meant to form a bridge between the Greek and Egyptians religions and a new age in which their respective gods were brought face to face with each other so that both Egyptians and Greeks could find union in a specific supreme deity. Linguistically, the god's name is a fusion of Osiris and the bull Apis, which by the Greek period might be said to have represented the essence of the Egyptian religion. In fact, the cult of the combination god named Osar-Rapis had existed in Egypt prior to the rule of Ptolemies. Osar-Rapis was basically the sacred bull of Memphis after its death. According to the hieroglyphic texts which were found on the stela and other objects in the Serapeum at Saqqara, established long before the Greek period, Apis is called the life of Osiris, the Lord of Heaven, Tem, with his horns and his head. And he is said to give life, strength, health to thy nostrils forever. Here is your homeless-looking Jesus, called Serapis. He looks like the people I pass in downtown LA, asking me for change. He states he was a composite of several Egyptian deities, a combination of Osiris and the bull Apis, Asar-Hapi. The Greeks took Kemetic deities and created this new savior god, whose image is clearly the first image of the European Jesus, and Osiris was the husband of Osset, which was her real name. So her name wasn't Isis, it was Osset. This is Osiris who the Ptolemies vow to be like. So they weren't playing dress up with Jesus, they were playing dress up with this man here. Asar, Osiris, the Great Black. The Great Black. This is exactly what AJ went over in his poem, where we need to lift each other up. It's okay to give compliments all day long because we are great, because our ancestors called themselves great. Therefore, we are too. Osiris, the Great Black, the Kemwer, the Great Black. Osset, the great first black magician, sexual companion of Asar, very important. The great first black magician was the female, was the black woman who happens to be the black male's sexual companion. Not the Tamahu woman. And I'm going to stop there because this gets into Aset in the Temple. So we'll stop there and I'll get into my brief presentation. So this is from my book, Journey of Your Soul, Freedom Through God's Word. And I'm going to go to the part that deals with the topic in Stepping Out of the Matrix by Saba. And I'm going to show you how us brothers here are all in alignment with the mind of Tahuti. So if you ask us questions and we do know the answers to them, they're in alignment with what Saba teaches. All right, let's find the page here. Should be coming up shortly. Okay, here we go. Should be right here. Nope, that's not it. Okay. So we spoke about Ptolemy the First, or Ptolemy Sotar, or Ptolemy the Savior. That's where this, in modern time, Savior complex came from, where Jesus came from this person here. Okay. So this is Ptolemy Soter, who was a general for Alexander, because Alexander never actually stepped foot in Kemet. He sent the Ptolemies in there to rule for him because he trusted them that much. So the Ptolemies arrived in there, and let's see what was going on, where they were getting their belief from. So it says, contrary to belief of most blacks, the original Europeans, as they are called today, did not hate our culture. So the original Tamahus did not hate our culture. They embraced it with passion and awe. So much so, as I mentioned earlier, that Alexander literally believed he was the son of Amun, the sun god of Kemet. This is his words, not mine, from the decree of the satrap Stella by Ptolemy the First in 311 BC. I'm only going to read the highlighted part. It says, loving the name of Amen, the son chosen, the son of the sun, Alexander. So he literally thought he was the son of Amun, which is Ra. And the Ptolemies went along with it because their leader was Alexander. So you follow what the leader does because you trust in him to lead. So here's another example of Greeks affiliating themselves with Kemet in the worship of the Natiru. Natiru meaning gods, for anybody that's new. So is this a Kemetic pharaoh and his Hemti or his mate? Is this a Kemetic pharaoh and his wife? It looks like one. Right? Sadly, this is Ptolemy II, Philadelphus. This is Philadelphus, Ptolemy Philadelphus and his wife, Arsinoe II. So here we go again. We have the leader of the Greeks believing he's the son of what, if you ask anybody in the world today, just name me one Egyptian god, they're going to say Ra probably. Or what was the Egyptian name for the sun? Ra. Okay. So he literally believed he was one of the top netters or Netiru's sons, the leader. And his loyal generals and officials all thought the same way, and they played dress up as what? They didn't put on Z-teats. They didn't put on kufis. They put on Kemetic garments and used Kemetic glyphs and symbolism and lived a life no different than the Kemetians. So once again, that's Ptolemy II after Ptolemy I, following the tradition of the Ptolemies playing dress up. Now, who is this? Is this King David? Is this Solomon? Is this Jesus? Who is this person here? They're wearing the NEMs. They're wearing one of the crowns, one of the famous crowns that the Comedians could wear. He's wearing it. Who is this? Whose bust is this? This is Ptolemy II again. Ptolemy II honoring the position, as he would call it, an Egyptian pharaoh. An Egyptian pharaoh. Okay. So, what is this coin here? This is called the Lighthouse coins. They were minted in Alexandria at the time the Ptolemies were ruling. It says this is an article from ancientorigins.net, which is a website that promotes historical documents and references specifically to ancient cultures like Greece. When we look at this one particular article, updated April 18th, 2014 by Tahuti, the Great Pharaohs of Alexandria, we notice he gives a brief historical account of the building and possible reconstruction of this monument for modern times. He mentions that in the 12th century, Arabs record that the lighthouse was still standing. So let's get to the point. Besides the obvious resemblance of the name Pharaohs, which is the name of that lighthouse, which is what the Greeks called their Egyptian king, a pharaoh, this beacon of light in the Ptolemaic dynasty sat right in their capital called Alexandria. It was a guiding light literally to foreign ships and people. However, there is no record of Ptolemy or any of his scribes mentioning one J person, one Israelite, let alone anyone translating anything for him from Hebrew to Greek on the island. So this famous lighthouse that was constructed during the time as the supposed Israelites were, the 72 Israelites were consulting with Ptolemy to create what's now known called the Bible. There's no record. The Ptolemies they didn't write any record of this actually happening. Okay. By the author's own admonition, they say that they too even have doubts about the authenticity of the so-called historical account of Ptolemy II meeting with Hebrew translators, preparing a banquet for them, and housing them on the same island of the famed Pharaoh's lighthouse. Let's see what they wrote. It is difficult to know how much credence to give to these accounts. There are several known historical inaccuracies in the letter of Aristides. It is known that on the assumption of his throne, Ptolemy II banished Demetrius of Phaleron, one of those credited at being present at the banquet. So this Demetrius guy was at the banquet with Ptolemy II. A certain Medomus of Etria is known to have died 2 years before Ptolemy II succeeded the throne. So these two Greeks were with Ptolemy II as witness. But even if the stories relating to the origin of the Septuagint are not true, at least not in all the details, it seems likely that Ptolemy II at least instigated a translation of the Torah, the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible. Okay. So right here we have a major landmark that supposedly the Israelites were there consulting with Ptolemy, and there's no record of them. There's no record of them written by the Greeks. So let's jump forward. Okay, let's get into it. So if you remember from Arkad's teaching, he spoke about Ptah. So Ptah was known as Hep. That was one of his names. Hep, happy. It could be called Hep or happy. but it's the Apis bull. It's the big black bull. Are you noticing the theme? Osiris is the great black. He's also known as the big black in other. That's one of his other titles. But he's also known as the big black bull. And here we have a painting of the large bull in Kemet, known as Hep. Hep, now known as the Apis, was worshipped by Kemet since the first dynasty, and what was known as Het Ka Ptah, now called Memphis. So, going to Budget's Dictionary, Volume 2, 1016, we see that the Het, Neter, and Asar Hep is called the Temple of Serapis at Memphis. It's called the Temple of Serapis. So there was a temple there when the Greeks got there called the Het, Neter, and Asar Hep. Interesting. There is a common misconception that the idea for Serapis was invented by the Greeks, that they were the first people to merge Asar and Hep. As you can see from the hieroglyphs, in fact, it was the original scribes of Kemet who first created the divine link between the two gods. So again, even their carbon copied Serapis is another copy off of Kemet. That's how deep the plagiarism comes. Why create something on my own when I can just take it? So why did they combine Asar and Hep? Great question. Here we go. And that's Ptah. We went over the Memphite and the Shabaka stone last week. So we're going to jump forward. So in Kemet, the bull represented strength and fertility, similar to the Nasu or Nasut, or now being called the Pharaoh. Remember before when I mentioned who was the soul Ptah? Well, it was none other than Hep. So you remember from Saba's book, he said that Hep is the life of Osiris. So the Ba Ptah, or the Ba Ptah is Hep, and Ptah is the life of Osiris. And we're going to get into that. Well, it was none other than Hep. And why was this bull chosen in particular? Hep was known as a physical manifestation of Ptah, again, representing strength, health, and everlasting life. One of many epithets for Ptah was Ptah, Lord of Eternity, and Ptah, the double being. Here's another excerpt from Budge's book, The Gods of Egyptians, or Studies in Egyptian Mythology, Volume 2, page 195. According to the hieroglyphic texts, which were found on stela and other objects in the Serapeum at Saqqara, Apis is called the life of Osiris. So Hep is the Ba Ptah, but he's also the life of Osiris, because we have to remember from previous teachings of Saba that Ptah represents sound vibration. He represents the frequency that is resonating through your body and through your consciousness at this moment. So whatever we attract through that vibration or frequency that you're presently resonating at will be the life of you. Or, as we see with many sisters and brothers, could be the death of you. So it says, the Lord of heaven, Tem, with his throne in his head. And he is said to give life, strength, health to thy nostrils forever. Elsewhere, Apis Osiris is described as the great god, Kent, Ament, the Lord of life forever. Because you gotta understand, Ament is now being called the Valley of the Kings. It was also known as what's now being called the Tomb or the Neterkurt, which represents eternity beyond the physical realm. We see on page 195, underlined the hieroglyphs, meta-netter words, gods, at the Serapeum at Saqqara, that Hep is called the life of Osiris. First, what the heck is a Serapeum? See, this is where history gets confused and historians perpetuate that Serapis started in the Greek temples. Here is what the Kemetic people called their temple to Asar and Hep prior to foreign invaders. Het Neter and Asar Hep, the Serapeum of Saqqara. Here is the proof that it was the people of Kemet who invented the connection between Osiris and Apis prior to the Greeks. I'll say it again. Here is the proof that it was the people of Kemet who invented the connection, just the connection. They didn't invent Serapis. They invented the connection between Asar or Osiris and Hep or Apis. And the Greeks saw this, they were watching this, and they took that information and created Serapis. They even built a physical temple to worship the material of life and death, birth and resurrection. Now let's find out what exactly was the Serapeum of Saqqara. In the picture here, the main tunnel in the Serapeum of Saqqara. The Serapeum is Greek for temple, and this one is located northwest of the Pyramid of Djoser, or Kenti Ta Desher Nasut, at Saqqara. It was the burial place for the ancient Hep bulls, also the place where they became immortal after death as Asar Hep. In this picture, you see Hep, the black bull god. He's all the way to the right here where I'm circling with the cross. These are the Hep bulls. This is the black bull god right here on the far left. Here's Ptah, the black bull, on his ma'at, on his stand. The black bull of Asar, Ptah. Before we wrap this part up of the book, focusing on Neter-Min, Osiris, I would like to show a few pictures from books that are written by Tamahus, Greeks, that were eyewitnesses to the veneration of Asar Hep by the Kemetic people. The first picture is from Herodotus, Book 3, page 164, 27 to 30. He says the Egyptians say lightning descends upon the cow from heaven, that from thence it brings forth Apis. This calf, which is called Apis, has the following marks. It is black and has a square spot of white on the forehead. The cow from heaven was represented by the goddess of the sky Nut, and is represented by all the goddesses too. You can ask Tahuti about that, Saba Tahuti. And cows represented mother figures because they provide milk to their young, similar to women. We also see that the calf the priests of Kemet chose were black. They weren't white, they were black, and had to have certain features that made it distinct from other cows, such as a white square. Now the square was called the hepet. The square was called the hepet. Do you see a correlation? I will show you a glyph from Hep or Apis. This is the black bull glyph. And below we see the glyph for hepet. The hepet has two overlapping vertical squares that are descending on land. To summarize, Hep literally means square because the word in our ancestors' ancient language is hepet, which is square. And a square, same as a circle's circumference, measures to 360 degrees, which is the same as the Fibonacci sequence, the mathematical code that builds the universe around us. Ptah, who is Hep, is the Ba of Osiris, was known way before modern physicists knew about the geometric building blocks of nature. Let's move on to our next witness, Plutarch and his two accounts. This is from Isis and Osiris, page 58 through 59, Plutarch. Plutarch was a Greek historian and a priest at the Temple of Apollo. He lived from AD 46 till AD 119. In his book of Isis and Osiris, page 58, he mentions that they, Kemet, called the Apis the living image of Osiris, and supposed him begotten by a ray of generative light flowing from the moon. The black bull Hep represented the living image of Osiris, and was given life by his mother, the heavenly cow Nut, through light energy which has been proven scientifically to produce all life throughout the universe, and a small particle called a photon, which will be elaborated on further in this book. Here's another source. Plutarch on page 37 of Isis and Osiris says that Serapis is none other than the mere union of Osiris and Apis. There you have it. And we'll wrap it up here. Serapis is none other than the merging of two older Kemet Netiru, Asar and Hep. So again, the ancient Greeks were studying, learning, watching, stealing, plagiarizing, and say, hey, it'd be a good idea if we take a major deity that creates a certain type of frequency and a major deity that deals with eternity and merge them together and create our own savior after Ptolemy Soter, and just use that as our image for what we'll call Serapis. So now let's get more into, okay, so that's it. I'm going to stop there. And there you have it, everyone. So like teacher, like student. I sat at this man's feet. Not literally, I didn't, but figuratively. And you know what, to be honest, I don't have any insecurities about that. I would sit at his feet today. Because there was a time where if I had just read that, if somebody had just presented that to me like 10 years ago, I would have been like, what? But God said, blah, 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 blah. And I would have went off. What? But when I was taught that, and then I was able to internalize that and digest that for years, and then about a couple years ago, so after 6 years, I felt the need to write that because it made deeper sense to me than what we're being told in the Bible, what we're being told by other conscious community leaders, what we're being told by our peers. Saba has something special in him where he can take the unteachable and create them to be teachers themselves. So I'm going to reiterate that. Saba has Heka in him, or magic, as they're calling it today. It's not really magic, but I'll just use that for new people. Where he can take people that don't want to speak in public and don't want to teach and don't want to do anything but watch basketball and football and whatever, and turn them into the brothers that are here on the panel. And it's all based on a frequency. And people teach on this. I've heard sisters, I've heard brothers, I've gone into incense shops, I've gone into bead shops, I've gone into the crystal shops. And I can guarantee not one of those people in there have ever heard of even Hep or Apis. We'll just take Apis. And Apis is a vital part of Osiris. The legendary figure Osiris. He needs Apis because Apis is his frequency. He's his light energy. He's his Ka. He's his vital power. Without your vital power, you can be easily deceived by this matrix that's all around us right now. That's the whole point of this Agent Smith guy. He wants to come and say, no. I was talking to a guy on a bus today, and I was wearing my Watch It or my Eye of Horus, and he said only ladies wear beads. I don't know why he said that. He told me only ladies wear beads. Man, if I had been younger, or if I had been like most brothers, I would have got all my feelings. What'd you say? But I laughed. Because I simply said to him, you don't even know who you are, man. Where are you from? I'm from Korea. Okay, just tell me one of your ancestors from Korea. Because Korea is not even your language, your ancestral language. It's not the name of the land that you were born on. So, the information that we're presenting is vital so that you cannot get tricked. Because if I did not learn under Tahuti, if I did not know this information, I would have took offense to that. I would have took offense to that. I would have took offense to, my boss at work doesn't want to give me time off so I can get to the pod class on time. I would have took offense to them. So it teaches you patience, because to research this stuff takes a lot of time, and your head starts throbbing, and you want to put it down. And sometimes you do. Sometimes it's best to put down your research. Go get something to eat, get something to drink, use the bathroom, come back in 10 minutes, and magically you can see what you didn't see before and start researching again. But it takes a lot of time for us to put on these presentations for you and to present them to you. And the brothers and I, we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't have a love or a passion for it at all. And we witnessed that with AJ in the beginning. But I just wanted to point out to you that the Ptolemies are the original costume makers. They were the original people that played dress up. They are the whole people that are complaining the Matrix right now. It's the Ptolemies. Because I believe Saba has told you before that there's two matrices. Because matrix just means ma'at, it means mut, it means mother. So there's Kemet, and then there's the Greek matrix. So it starts with Ptolemy, and it starts with Ptah, with our frequency, and it starts with what's going to happen when we leave here physically. Two vital things that are very important to focus on daily is your frequency and what's now being called the afterlife, or what is and that's occurred. Because these are the things that make the black bull. These are the things that make the black bull. That's another thing. The women in Kemet, and I laughed at this when Saba first taught me, the women in Kemet were revered for being cows. This is where the Indians get it to this day. You go to a Sikh, you go to a Hindu, they revere the cow. It's a sacred cow. They're saying it's called the sacred cow. And it goes back to our women. If I go up to a woman today, if I go up to any women in their chat today and you didn't know this knowledge, and I called you a cow, you'd slap me in the face. But the cow is our most sacred image. Because the cow as a male means strength, and the cow as a female means the life of Osiris. So you sisters, if you're listening to this, if you listen to this later, I'm going to let you know that there's brothers up here that are willing to sacrifice their livelihoods and their lives to teach you. That's how much you mean to us. And you don't have to be afraid to get on this panel and to just tell us what you know. That's another thing. We don't get up here and we don't judge you, and we don't show contention with you. If you go back to our past videos, you don't see any arguments with us. We're just all true seekers here that want to know what's the true knowledge, and we're willing to share that with you. So with that, I'm going to stop and let one of the brothers take over.
Well, I have two things I'm itching dying to say, but I'm gonna let the moderator, the host, the commissioner, Arcad, you QB what you want to happen, but I got some stuff I want to say.
No, brother, go ahead. Speak your piece, brother. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ahati, for your teachings. It was, man, your book. I got to get into your book. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication you put into that, and all the hard work and all your time you've dedicated at sitting at Saba Tahuti's feet. Sisters, I have something to say to you. If Osset is the first Black sex magician, I'm hoping you will research and study her and see yourself in a different way, because Saba taught me, or teaches about sex magic, and sex magic is what the universe and how everything in the world comes together. So if sex magic is the universe, and you are the first sex magician as the Black woman, you are really powerful and you are really beautiful. And then I want to, Scribe, you can stop me sometimes. I like to brag on you and your performances and your spoken word. And I had the blessing of being sent a video of Scribe's performance from one of his performances, and he has a bar in there and a line, and I want you all to know that they know the greatest weapon in existence is your frequency. How you feel about that? Who are you? Who are we? We don't even know who we are, but you're gonna learn. We're gonna learn. We're gonna learn. Grace is for all of us, right? We all need that grace. because it's been hidden from us. War has been brought upon us with us even not knowing, without us knowing that they coming for us. We know they coming for us. They really coming for us. And so this is a great opportunity. It's a beautiful situation that we get to have these kind of conversations, to get this knowledge, this wisdom, and this understanding. So that's all I want to say, and I'll pass to one of the other brothers.
That was great. You are absolutely right, AJ. It's important, man. These sisters, get on board and start to understand exactly what's going on here. For those of you that were not in Friday's class of the Breaking Down the Matrix, Stepping Out of the Matrix, oh my goodness, it was very, very powerful. That was part 2. And I have been, I don't know, I think it's a sum total of my life, because I've been having some weird experiences, strange as Saba would say. Strange in a good way. Definitely. A little bit, I've been having, can't process it now, family. So I'm only gonna give y'all a little bit of it, because I'm still going through it. I'm still experiencing it, and I'm still processing it. And it's just a sum total of my life. And like you said, adding the pieces together, the breadcrumbs, and just looking at my whole life, and just when something like makes sense, when it starts to make absolute sense, and then you start to see what it really is, it's a little scary. Because it's like this matrix is so widespread, and it is so enveloping that and I'm just gonna say this, for those of us that know, I'm gonna say this is so all weekend I had an experience at the end of, just to enlighten everybody, I had a very emotional experience at the end of the end of the Matrix class on Friday. Very emotional. And I've been experiencing those same emotions throughout the whole weekend. And they're great. They're great emotions, but I've been having epiphanies and different insights, and I'm still processing it. So it's not making sense to you guys, because I can't make it make sense right now. A lot of what I've been experiencing isn't making sense to me. It is, but it isn't. I don't want to sound crazy, but I'm going to say this to everybody out there in the chat. Once you know, you can't unknow. And that's one of the things that I've been experiencing. One of the insights that I had, as far as this book that we're breaking down. The name of the book is called Stepping Out of the Matrix. Saba calls himself the breaker of the Matrix. And I had a real emotional experience in having the insight and having the epiphany in realizing, or one of the things that one of the things that you realize, if you're able to process this, is that we are really in the Matrix, and then you get to understand who Saba really is. And I believe, I don't know for sure, but it's not that many of us that really understand this. And it's not that many of us that understand what's really truly going on right now, in this present right now. And that whole class was very powerful. When Saba was breaking down, just being that we not, that we don't know that we could be gone in the blink of an eye. It was so much. It was so much to process. But one of the things that I am very, very, very grateful for, one of the insights that I had, and I'm still processing it, and I promise I'm gonna share it with you guys, is once I'm able to contextualize it, however I'm able to do that. But one of the insights that I was really able to garner out of it was just who Saba really is, right? And who Ma'at really is, and that if he really is who he really is, and he is who he really is, I can confirm it. It is something to behold. This time that we're in is something so special. I can't even describe it in words right now. Like I'm really struggling. I'm struggling, brothers, family. I need y'all to bear with me. I promise I'm gonna break it down. I'm gonna once I make it make sense, I promise I will share it with you guys. But just understanding that if we are in this matrix, which we are, and if Saba is who he is, which he is, the appreciation and the level that it's something it's man, I'm having a hard time conceptualizing it, guys. I'm struggling, man. I really am. And it's a beautiful thing because my struggle is understanding that I understand I am witnessing Ma'at evident. I am witnessing Ma'at evident. And I am witnessing it being revealed in different ways that I wish some of these brothers that are out here claiming that the material is just an energy, which it is, but I wish that they understood that they began to understand it, just a small portion of what I was able to experience and what I'm experiencing now over this weekend and just digesting all of this, because we really are in this matrix, and this matrix is really, really, really something, man. And I'm grateful for our Saba Tahuti. I'm grateful for you, Ahati, for motivating this brother to, man, can't even, I'm struggling, guys. I really am, guys. Peace and love to everyone in the chat. Go check out the website, teachingsofmaat.org. Scribe does an excellent job on there. Another example, that night when we were on there, Scribe said something. Scribe said, just to give you guys just a portion of what I'm processing, that good brother Scribe said something to the effect that he was communicating with the netter in seeking questions, answers to questions. This is what he said. Brother, correct me if I'm wrong, if I say something out of place, because I don't mean to. I have been up, I have been running a fever, I'm fighting a cold still. But he said something to the effect that along his journey, because we all have different journeys, but on his journey that he was communicating with the netter, Tahuti, and that he was seeking answers to his questions. And the questions led him to, of course, many things, many experiences, but ultimately it led him to this brother, Tahuti, Amenhotep Rai, led him to this. And it's just remarkable how it led him to exactly what he was searching for. In the Saba being that exact Tahuti energy, and that he represents that in its entirety. And that's one of the things that I'm processing, and being able to really intuit, being able to intuit this information on a deeper level, not just read it and see it, but begin to understand it. And then begin to understand that it's real, and it's real on a different level. Because this matrix is so deep. It's like, you know it's this way, and then you find out it's not this way, it's that way. So then you start doing it that way, and you think that's the right way. But then what if you find out that the right way is wrong? You know what I mean? You've been doing you thought you was doing it the right way, but the right way is really the wrong way. The wrong way is really the right way. It's upside down. They've been showing you the right way all along. You don't know which way to go. It's inside out, it's outside in. Like that's how the matrix is. And I'm saying it, and I sound like I'm talking in circles, which I probably am to a light degree, but at the same time, I am giving you guys a perfect illustration of how deep the matrix actually is. So even in the talking in circles, that is how enveloped we are in the matrix. And I got a slight insight into that because I told you guys I'm a baby in this knowledge. And I'm fortunate, but I got I got an insight that brought me to tears in understanding and appreciating where I was and who I was amongst and who I've had the opportunity to interact with is the same Tahuti that my brother Scribe, who was looking for in a totally another state, in a total another jurisdiction, and we both ended up at the same place, and we were looking for truth. And so I just want to illustrate that, just being a small example, and it may not be that monumental or prolific to you guys on the chat. And, we all have our different, journeys. Mine's is way deeper than that. I have a whole lot more to share, but that's just a small portion of it. Just in understanding, once you begin to understand Saba, this book, the two books that he has out, Melanin and Dark Consciousness, Stepping Out of the Matrix. And then you begin to participate with us on the panel on Sundays. You begin to come to Melanetta Mondays. You begin to really start to process and digest the Friday classes. It's going to start opening up something or revealing something to you that right now, where I'm at, I can't explain it to you. But it's beautiful, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I just want to share that with you guys, because I'm still experiencing it. And once I'm able to really process it and break it down, I'm definitely going to share it with everyone here, my family, Saba, you, Ahati, Brother Netter, Tahuti Most, wherever you are. Blessings and light to you. And Scribe, I'm going to let you get on there. I know you off the camera for a minute, but again, teachingsatma'at.org. Check out the website. Like, share, and subscribe. You can go to our website and purchase Saba's books. You can go there and purchase that good brother Ahati's book. And just so you know that we're not talking, look, it's showing, guys. It's showing. This is my brother's hard copy of his book that I purchased early on. So you guys know that I'm not just talking, or we're not up here just talking. We support each other in everything that we do. Support that good brother Scribe with his creativity on that website. And good brother Scribe, you got anything?
Yes, Hotel, peace and love. It's always great to hear you speak, Arcad, because you are one of the most pure-hearted brothers that I've ever met or known. So keep doing you, my brother. And I know one piece that I wrote. I said, 3 separate minds, a serpent mind crowned me. I cried when I found me. And it's definitely an emotional thing once you break out of these systems of that's put so much weight on you, and confusion and misunderstanding of the truth. Yeah, it gets very emotional, so too out for you and your growth and your expansion. And I love to be able to witness it and walk with you through your journey as well. My brother, it's an honor and it's a privilege.
I was live, brother. That wasn't supposed to happen live, brother.
It's all good, my brother. And peace to you, great brother Ahati. Yeah, I mean, that your book is so detailed. I still have not made it all the way through yet. It's definitely very, very detailed. Okay, so let me see. Hold on, keep holding it up. Yeah, that excellent cover. My goddess, when she seen it, she said, "That's a powerful cover. That cover right there looks very powerful."
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, I mean, thank you for even the way you wrote this book, and the way you broke it down, and the way you added the imagery to it, and it's very concise and in order. It's perfect. It's a perfectly written book, and I definitely enjoy the readings and learning about Ptah. Of course, Ptah is amazing. He's definitely one of the origin sources of of all of this here, you know, especially when it comes down to the language and being able to communicate with one another through words, through vibration, through tones. And, you know, a lot of times we tend to take that for granted, the fact that we can speak to each other and understand each other. And, you know, as if like it just happened, you know, as if like words just magically popped out of nowhere, you know. So we do tend to take that for granted, you know, but I do my best to not do that. And I do my best to always give adoration and give credit where credit is due, you know. And then Patah is definitely the source of that, you know. And you also touched on Set, you know, being the like the first magician of sex magic, and that goes right back into the language as well, you know, with the spell, the hex. The hex is 6 and 6 is sex. It's the same word. That's why sextuplets, 6 children, the sextuplets is 6. It's the same thing, you know. So that's sex magic, just right there in the very origins of the language we speak, you know. And that's why they've completely destroyed our connection to sexuality and made it completely negative on every aspect, you know. And it's very powerful that we have this information, and we have brothers like you, Ahati, who bring it forth and show it in a way for others to understand it, you know. And that's very powerful. So once again, my brother Tua, you know, thank you for what you do. You know, thank you for your energy and your effort and your just consistency of doing what it is that, you know, that you understand and see, even though everyone else is blind to it. That takes another level of consciousness to continue to keep doing that, you know. And you was doing it for years prior to any of us even being here, you know. So thank you, my brother Tua. Excellent presentation, you know. And yeah, peace and love to you, my brother.
Peace. Definitely a great presenter. Definitely. The link is in the room. Anybody want to come up and join us, dialogue with us for a minute, come build with us. Don't be scared. Jump on the panel. Yeah, it's magical, man. The magic is real too. I've been experiencing it, and I don't know. Y'all can think what y'all want to think, but it's been overwhelming. I've been experiencing something I ain't never experienced before, and it's a truth that I've been acknowledging, man. Like it's like I'm not like no hater. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never been like one of them people to been like a hater. I actually been like one of them people, like I'm a lover of like learning. So I'm like a kid, and I get excited when I learn new stuff and cool stuff, and like, you know, you could flick the switch and the light come on. I like that kind of stuff. And I'm witnessing that. I'm witnessing the invisible magic, you know, being around brothers, right? And starting to understand love. you know what I'm saying? Like, just thinking about it, man, I'm having these different bursts of insight to think that, okay, so just imagine this, guys. So you're just going along life, you just walking along, la-di-da, just living your life, and you think you got you think you got all the answers, it's all, you know, everything's under control, whatever your definition of life is. The house, the wife, the kids, the American dream, whatever it is, you have that. And you're good. And you're just walking along, but you're in this society. It don't matter where, North America, South America, but you're here somewhere on this planet. And then all of a sudden, someone comes along and they say, hey, where you going? And you tell them, and they say, well, where you're going isn't over there. You're going in the wrong direction. But you know for a fact you're going in the right direction because you've changed direction several times throughout your life. Oh, no, I'm going over here. I'm Christian. I'm going over whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be religion based. It could just be you're just going along with your life, but you're heading in a particular direction that you think is right. You think you're going in the right direction because you've made adjustments, and you, in your navigation to go toward that way, you've made adjustments. So it ain't like you just set out to head that way and you going and someone say, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. No, you're making adjustments, and you're constantly making adjustments. And then you figure it out. You got it. This is it. Bet, I got it. And then someone comes along and taps you on the shoulder, and they find you and they say, hey, where you going? Oh, I'm going over here. Okay, well, cool. Come with me. It's this way. No, it's not. It's that way. How do you know? It's this way. No, let me. And then they show you. No, it's actually this way. And then you see it. It's confusing, man. This is what I'm experiencing in this matrix, right? And this is what we're all experiencing in this matrix as we live our life. The things that we think are true are really not true. The things that we don't, it's so enveloping. I can't even explain it to you guys. But I'm walking along, minding my business, think I'm going in the right direction, and then all of a sudden, boom, I get found by Saba and showed the right direction, right? Can you imagine the love that person has to have for his people to understand that everyone is going in the wrong direction? Everybody, not just me. This isn't just my experience. We are all, and that is what overwhelmed me. When I had a little slight insight into, oh snap, everything is wrong. Holy cow, everything is mixed up. It's overwhelming. And then it began to allow me to understand who Saba really is. Right now, in this moment, who he is and what he represents and what he's given to us. We have no idea. The world actually has no idea how grateful they should be and where we are at and what he is offering in this book in itself and in his example of who he is and in teaching us. Yo, I'm still processing it, and man, let me tell you, it is all you non-believers and doubters and whatever movie you think you saw, whoever I can't even explain it to you. I cannot. Only thing I can say is this is how I got here. I wasn't even looking, and I ended up here. And that is also what allows me to understand that my art is real. That love is so real because I wanted the truth, and the truth still found me, and it manifested itself in real time. And it manifested itself in a person. And it manifested itself every Friday. And it manifested itself to this brother Tahuti. To brother Scribe, brother Ahati, brother AJ. And the magic is real, guys. That's all I'm going to say. The magic is real, and we are in a monumental time. And if the world understood what these teachings represent for our people and the struggle that we are in, then it will be a million of us, like Ahati said up here. But the reality is that we're that lost, and we don't know we're in the matrix. We don't know, and when you get out, you're back in it.
I'm sorry, Arcad, I didn't mean to cut your science, God.
Oh, but brother, it ain't science, brother. I'm trying to sort it out, brother. I'm trying to figure it out. Hey, look, hold on. Before you say that, right? Hold on. Listen, in figuring it out, right? I'm just trying to put it together, and then you look at it. It's called the instructions of Ptah-hotep. So it's right, the answer, the instructions, right? It's every. Go ahead, brother.
Yo, that's pretty bold, right? To write a book, stepping out of the matrix, right? That's like a pretty bold thing. Check this out. And then to do a breakdown of the Matrix movie, one of the most successful movies in box office history in the world. What person is crazy enough to put themselves out there that much and have the audacity to go at these people, right? And then he is a part of the conscious community, and he's undefeated in debates. Who do you know? Who do we know that does this? Who do we know like Ahati, who has dedicated his life to defend and uplift this brother? Who do we know? Who do you have to be to do something like that? That is like telling in itself, right? It's like right in front of your eyes.
That's a fact. The Saba said he broke down a little bit about Ma'at, about inspecting and examining, and then that's what we're talking about, Patah, inspecting and examining yourself, right? Studying yourself, like, you know, like the battle, the first battle is within. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, the first battle that we have to fight is ourselves. And that's a constant battle on top of the inspect that's going on around you, on top of the environments that we create for ourselves that make it harder. Whatever type of environment we're in, if we're not in healthy environments, which living in this matrix it's increasingly difficult for you to find yourself, or for you to, consistently be in healthy environments consciously. You have to make a conscious effort to do that. You understand what I'm saying? And then to see what this brother is representing and being a living example of what Ma'at is and what it represents, man, come on, man. Like, it's the right now we are in a monumental time, and again, me beginning to realize just a little bit of that, it was overwhelming. It's overwhelming for me.
You know what's happening? Well, I think this is my guess, Arcad, and you can define for yourself. Obviously, Saba Tahuti, know thyself, right? And he caught that in the matrix and broke that down and shared that with us. I think maybe what is happening for you is you're starting to know yourself. And when we are discovering ourselves for the first time, that's like a really big enlightening moment, right? Because like you said, you think you know, but you don't know. And we in this endless loop of confusion. And then the light comes through you, however it comes to you. And when that light hits you, it hits you in your soul, it hits you in your heart, it hits you in every part of you. And that emotion, when you cry, that's a release. Yo, I had a one-on-one with Saba, and tears just burst from my face like a waterfall, because the truth and the light transforms you. Like, it hits you in a different way, because it hits different, because that's not something we're accustomed of having in our spirit, in our soul, in our life. So I think that's what's happening for you. And I don't want to speak for you, but I know that's what's happening for me too. Because when you cried, I cried. And ever since I've been on this journey, and the more I witnessed Saba, I knew that things had to change in my life in a real way that everybody would have to acknowledge. When you acknowledge me, you got to acknowledge me by the name that I'm supposed to have, right? So they have to, we need to, what's happening is we are positioning in ourselves so the world can't deny who we are. Because the more we know thyself, the more the world's going to have to acknowledge us, or they're going to have to deal with us.
That's a fact. No, you're absolutely right. Definitely that's one of the, you're right. And that's what I was saying. One of the things when I said, when you think you know something and you don't, like even yourself, you know what I mean? Like, and then for someone to show you, so like you think you have some answers, and then for someone to show you an even better way, right? So like as parents, we want to teach our children the right way and be great parents and all this, and you know, and I thought, and I am, I'm not gonna say I thought, and I'm doing that, right? But then all of a sudden, someone comes along and shows you something even better, right? And then what that person represents for me brought me to tears, because you're right. Because he did introduce me to, give me some insight and for me to see who I am. This is a fact, which in turn allows me to see what I represent for my family, because that's what I want. I want to be able to take care of my family and take care of myself, minus this matrix. I was just having that conversation with my older brother tonight. You know, it's like we so stuck in the matrix, living from paycheck to paycheck and this bill and that bill. And, you know, so yeah, that is, AJ, you're 100% correct.
Real quick, Arcad, not to cut you off, brother. I just want to acknowledge two things that's in the chat. GCBC said, "What are your views on the Kabbalion teachings?" I think that would be a good question for you to send in to Saba Tahuti, and send Cash App and ask him that question. And then Big Vape said, "Facts, discovering self can be a traumatic but cleansing experience, 100." And then Ahati said, "True, brother." So I just want to acknowledge what's going on in the chat. Most definitely, Big Vape. At some point, we got to deal with ourselves, right? And we got to deal with what's actually happening in the world, because the biggest drug that's happening in the world is escapism. People will do anything to have to escape reality and escape how they have to deal with themselves and what this matrix is trying to do with you. But actually, there really isn't no escape. Drugs is not gonna last, right? The watching sports is not gonna last. Eventually, those addictions, they end up falling short. And so, this is Ma'at is the truth, and there's nothing more powerful than the truth.
That is a fact. Go ahead, Scribe, good brother.
Yeah, I just I just want to echo what you brothers are saying. It's a beautiful journey that we're all going through. And we have guidance and we have leadership, and that's what a lot of the youth is missing today. So the fact that we have that, it's good to see brothers who are grateful for it. It's something that should not be taken for granted. That's why we say in the pod class each Friday, don't take this information for granted. No one is obligated to have this. We're all blessed to be able to be on the same timeline as this brother, to be able to be led and guided. So it's just a beautiful thing. So I just want to, Brother Ahati, I don't know if you have any final words you want to give, and once again, thank you for your presentation, my brother.
You too, Nina Ook. I was just appreciating the dialogue between Arcad and in the netter formerly known as AJ. It's actually very relaxing, actually. I was actually getting rocked to sleep a little bit. Not in a bad way, but like it was because there's no contention or arguments. That's what I was just telling the people earlier. So it's like relaxing me to a point where I was kind of zoning, like listening. But I'm just enthusiastic over Arcad's enthusiasm, again, to use the word. Man, you were very excited now, and keep that, because that's the Kai energy. That's that light in you that's breaking through the darkness now, that you can't explain. I mean, I tell you, I would never hold bags for another man without being paid. I would never rearrange my schedule for another man and put him as the most important thing in my life for year after year after year if I could not get motivated and excited to be taught by him. And I see you going through what I went through in the beginning, and I was just elated to go and meet him and listen to his teachings down at the beach. And then I morphed into, well, like you, I wanted to protect him. And we didn't have any physical battles together, but we were on the verge of having a couple. And I was right there at his side, and we were ready to throw down if we had to. And that's exciting too. because it's a witness of the spiritual and the physical united as one. And in my mind, I don't care if you're Floyd Weather. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna walk up to Floyd Mayweather and start talking junk. I'm not stupid. But the point that I'm making is, I'm not afraid of him. Yeah, okay. I'm not afraid of death. So he knocks me out with a punch and kills me. It is what it is. That's what I'm talking about. All that mess that goes in your head, the emotion is poof, it's gone. And you're just focusing on what is true and what is real. And that feeling you have, Arcad, you will have that for the rest of your life. That is the gift. That is the priceless gift that's running through your body right now. And even greater than that is, you have a chance because you have your family with you, and they can feel that, they can see that. I don't know if they're commenting yet, but they'll start commenting. And man, you give your daughters that. Oh man, they it's like they have. Here's a playbook, honeys. Here you go. I didn't have this for however old you are. Now you have it. Now you can run with the ball. Now you're ahead of the Tom Hoods.
Facts.
Because the average Tom Hood I see out here, they look at us like relics, like historians. They don't even know what's going on. They've been lied to too. So you are a powerful entity and being, and all the rest of the brothers on here as well. And it's a physical process too. I'm going to reiterate this. I can't emphasize this enough. Our ancestors, if they just sat around and talked about the knowledge, we wouldn't have these great akus and temples. You wouldn't have what's called the Serapeum now. You wouldn't have none of these things. Our ancestors, like Saba always talks about, it doesn't matter what you're doing in your life. I don't care if you're sweeping dirt off the pavement. You can incorporate Ma'at into that. That could be the aha. It could be the defender of Ma'at or whatever. The point is that we make moves. We make moves. And time is running, is ticking, is running out. And try to contribute as much as you can. I was in I was walking down the street. They have these pop-up churches that are happening now in Los Angeles. These quasi, the LGB are allowed to go to these. Everybody's inclusive churches now. So I was walking by there on the way to eat, and I said, let me just jump in here and see what's going on. You see the brothers and sisters in there, and they're thanking Jesus. They called him Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Jireh, and everybody, and they're on the guitars, and each time they're strumming their guitar harder, they're getting more excited and riled up because of the vibrations, man. And they're getting more hypnotized as the guitars are going louder and louder. And they're like, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Jireh. And then the pastor woman gets on and she says, now these are the slums over in India. Now I know, listen, I'm not trying to manipulate you. This is her word. She says, I'm not trying to manipulate you. But there's slums over there in India. And you live over here in mid-city. You okay? Now, I'm not trying to manipulate you, but there's some of you here that can give 10,000. There's some of you that can give 1,000. There's some of you that can give 500. And if you're new here, you don't have to give, because she saw me, because I'm just like this looking at her. She said, if you're new, you don't have to give. But she says, everybody else that's been coming here a while, give something. It's the holidays, or what, you know. And what do? Bam, the envelopes are going right through the slot, right through the slot, right through the slot. Now think about that for a second. Really think about that. With the knowledge that Saba has, with the knowledge that I have, with the knowledge that these brothers are gaining within this past year, you don't think we could create something like that easily? Easily. Scribe's been to my place. He's been to Saba's place. He sees where we live. Scribe, do we live in Beverly Hills?
What they would consider Beverly Hills, no, but it's definitely a heavenly abode.
I like that answer. Right. So we're not doing this only for the money. We're not coming off like we want and need your money. We're doing it for the energy, that Ka energy, because it's a fear that will be released in you the more you give. And I'm living proof, the scribes living proof, Arcad and AJ are living proof. So even if it's $1, $2, $3, just give something, because it breaks that monetary fear. The biggest spell that's going on right now is the money. You take away the money, the whole system collapses. That's why they go to war. Look, when Gaddafi had the dinar and he went to the other African brothers in Africa before they brutally sodomized him and executed him, he told the brothers, listen, we have all this gold underneath our grounds. We can dig it up for ourselves, keep the Europeans out of it. You don't think the Europeans have everybody watching everybody? And what happened? Same thing with Saddam Hussein. He first worked with Israel. He then worked with the United States. As soon as he cut ties, because he didn't like to abuse his people, shut him down. So never forget, the spell is the money. In God we trust. And our spell is to show you the spelling of these words to break you out of the matrix, so you don't look at God as your money, but just another option or tool. Even if you don't have it, you can still do what you want to do. Always remember that. You make the choices, not them. All right. That is it. I don't think anybody's coming on, are they?
Nah, they scared. They scared. Come along, in time.
Yeah.
In time.
It's different energy. You can't come up here and argue and cut you down, and so it's a different type of energy. It's good because those that know more should speak the most.
That's a fact. And if you, I'm gonna say this: if you know, you know, and if you don't know, then you don't know. Scribe was talking about being on a particular frequency, and it made absolute sense, and it answered a lot of questions. And what Saba and this knowledge is representing for us right now, the sad truth, and one of the things that actually brought me to tears was the sad reality is that all of our people don't know, is that we don't know how lost we are. That was one of my realizations. And realizing me thinking I got some of the answers, a little bit of the answers, not very much, but me having enough to, take care of my family and my children, and then Saba introducing me to something even greater than I can't even vocalize it and explain it right now, but just how valuable the truth is and what that truth represents now more for me to be able to take care of my family. Because every parent wants to tell their children the right thing. No parent, I don't think, wants to tell their children or give them bad information on purpose. You want to give your kids the truth. No one tells their kids something wrong on purpose. And if you are, I'm not even talking to you. You're definitely not on this frequency, but for the brothers and the people that understand what I'm saying, you want to tell your children the right thing, and to be able to give your children the absolute truth, Ma'at, is even more powerful than I thought I ever could have given my children. So being able to introduce them to that and being able to witness it in real time, week after week, day after day, and being able to communicate with Saba is monumental, and and I'm still processing it right now. And I just want to say how beautiful it is, and what a beautiful time we are. How grateful we are to have all of you brothers up here, because we all came together, and to have you brothers, and especially you, Ahati, because Saba says you're the reason that he came out, and if it wasn't for you, brother, the world would not know. So that love and what Saba represents and what Ahati represents and what Ma'at is, in due time, when our people begin to start to understand, then you'll begin to understand a little bit of what I'm beginning to experience, and I'm looking forward to it. Hotep Ma'at, I look forward to all you people that will be joining the chat in the future. Again, teachingsofma'at.org. Join us every week. Join us Metal Netta Mondays. Email Saba. Go to the website. Join us for Saba's weekly podcast on Fridays, every Friday. With that, we'll close it out. If any you good brothers got anything you want to close with, I'll let you brothers go. If not, Scribe will put up the affirmation.
I just want to say one thing. And there is an abundance of hope, and all is not lost, because if the greatest weapon in existence is our frequency, that can travel in ways that they can't stop. So there is hope. We are here. We talking that talk. Sabo's doing his thing. Other people are doing the best that they can. But when all the haters stop hating on the true teacher and let him teach and get behind him, then we are a problem. We have been a problem in certain ways. We're up against a lot, but there is hope, because the frequency is real. The vibration is real. Energy is real. And so brothers are putting their life on the line for that, for this, and that gives me hope. So I'll pass with that.
Peace and love. Ahati, got any closing words, brother?
Very quickly. Yeah, I agree, AJ. It's a frequency, and a frequency built even this YouTube algorithm. So we can go to these other people and they got thousands of views or whatever, but they're not giving people the 100% truth or ma'at. If they were, they would be just like us. So the people that are here, I commend you. I looked, it's like 11 people, great duality number. I love it. And just for you being here, you're one of the chosen few. You're the real chosen few. And Saba only gets hundreds of views when he should have hundreds of thousands. And he may have it within his lifetime. I don't know. But the point that I know is that I can never get discouraged, because the frequency built all this that we're in. And just us getting views, people seeing us, means we're breaking through.
Thank you, Ahati. Beautifully said.
Thank you.
So I agree. Good brother Scribe, any last closing words before we end it out?
Yeah, I just I always like to show my gratitude for those who are here with us, because you don't have to be, and it's not, this isn't a instant gratification thing. This isn't, hey, let me take this money and make this purchase and get back exactly what I'm purchasing right now. This isn't what that is. This is a patient game. This is a long game, a long-term concept and mindset, and this takes discipline. And I always love to show my gratitude for those who are in the game of discipline, because it's one of the most challenging things that you can do here in this human vessel. It's not easy. It's so many distractions all the time, everywhere at all times. So I just want to say my thanks to, of course, the leaders here on the panel, and the viewers who are watching, and the future leaders. You are necessary, you are needed, you are wanted. So take the step and move forward and joining us and building with us, so we can also leave something behind that our ancestors left behind for us. And so with that, I'll close.
Peace and love. Peace and love to everybody in the chat. Yes, I agree. Peace and love to everyone in the chat for showing your support. We love you. Peace and love to good brother. Gotta represent for that good brother Tahuti Most. Shout out to you, good brother. We're gonna keep your name out there and keep you on and going. Shout out to that good brother Tahuti Most. Peace and love, brothers. Peace and love to the chat. We're gonna close out. That will close it out for the night. Again, we appreciate everyone coming out, and we look forward to you on Metal Netta Mondays, Fridays, Saba's class. Go to the website, teacherslemma.org, purchase Saba's books, Ahati's books, good, beautiful shirts, any merch you need. Shout out to everyone, teacherslemma.org. Again, with that, we'll close it out. Peace and love. Hotep Ma'at. On the count of three, we will close it out with our affirmation. 1, 2, 3. Unky Ma'at, Un-N-S, Nintet Oset Ma'at, Menhepapet Ma'at, Her in Kukui, Per Iku. I live for Ma'at, I exist within her, I do not speak in the place of Ma'at. Every day I advance towards Ma'at, my being is surrounded in darkness. I come forth as conscious light. Peace and love, everybody.